screen TVs, and more. Because at Lennar Homes, everything's included includes everything. Visit a Lennar Welcome Home Center and tour your new Everything's Included home today.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Renegade Report. I am Francis Mayer, and coming up, we have somebody that I'm really, really fond of. As I said earlier, I feel like I'm living the dream every day when I come to work because I get to work with some of the nation's most talented student athletes and some of the best coaches on the planet, in my personal opinion, and actually in the opinion of a lot of others. The only sad part about my job is that we only get to keep our athletes for 2 seasons. Case in point, this man now on the show with me, Vallejo native Kalen Smith. Kalen, welcome to the Renegade Report. How are you?
I'm great. How about yourself?
Dude, you're here, man. I'm super. There's a story about Kalen that I think kind of captures his personality. I'm an old guy now. I'm 37. I'm the sports information director. I got a desk in an office, but I still feel like I'm an athlete. And I was in the cafeteria one day with my tray of food, and I was like the dork. Like there was no place to sit. And then this guy stands up and waves at me. Hey! And it's hard to miss him because he's a giant. And he's like, come on over. And I sit down and I have lunch at Kalen's table. No other students, no other student athletes for that matter, who saw me fumbling around with his giant tray cared, and Kalen did. And that's like, he's the friendly giant. And I learned some things about you that day that were very interesting to me. Now, Kalen, you are from Vallejo, correct?
Yes, sir.
And in high school, you kind of had a little bit of an awakening about what you wanted to do with yourself, right?
Yes, sir.
And what was that you wanted to do?
I realized that I had to provide for my family, and I had to go with my dream because the path I was heading down was not the right path, and I just wanted to be a better person and show what God gave me, show my talent.
And what did God give you, Kalen?
He gave me a great personality, I would like to think. And,
yes, I would agree.
And some great attributes on the football field.
And those attributes have gotten you some attention. I think a lot of folks don't realize is sometimes there are college football players who have great college careers and then they don't get drafted or they get drafted low. And a lot of times that's because of maybe they have a small hand if they're a quarterback, or maybe they don't have the height. And then there are other times there's guys that you haven't heard so much about in the NCAA, and then they end up being a high draft pick because they have all of these little things that you have. Like you're a tall guy. How tall are you?
6'5".
You're 6'5".
Yes,
and
sir.
what's your 40 time?
4'6".
And what do you weigh?
240. I just got weighed.
6'5", 240, and this guy is really fast. Like if Kalen and I were to go into a 12-by-12 room, how long would it take you to catch me, do you think? I mean, I'm kind of quick. Like how to get? I mean, how long would it take you to get hands on me and grab me around my shoulders?
I would like to think in about 2 seconds, but you know, who knows? You know, I couldn't catch a chicken in that fast. So if you that fast,
I would have to be quick. Now, you also have large hands, and you fit into a certain type of offense, and that's what you're looking at right now. You've had a good career at BC. I believe you were in the top 10 for all tight ends,
yes,
correct?
Sir.
But what position are you looking to play at the next level in the NCAA?
Well, I already discussed with my coaches and everything that tight end is a great fit for me. They any teams that I go to, they want to split me out anyway, but I can do it all. I can H-back, tight end, or receiver. It doesn't really matter.
And by H-back, you mean halfback?
Yeah, as in fullback, the fullback kind of guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you could take a handoff out of the backfield.
Yes, sir.
Because you have that kind of speed. Look at this grin on this kid. Now, who have you been recruited by so far?
So far, Nevada came to BC.
Mm-hmm.
That was my first guy that recruited me. Then Eastern Illinois, Idaho University, Portland State, Stony Brook.
That's Stony Brook in New York.
Yeah, that's in New York, Long Island.
Right.
Yeah.
So a number of schools here, and I know there were other players on the Renegade team this year who put up really flashy numbers. I mean, Derek Vickers comes to mind,
yes,
of course. But you did a lot of things right, and that is the stuff that caught the eye of the scouts, correct?
Yes, sir.
And I understand you had Paul Petrino over for dinner the other night at the house.
Yes.
And how does that go? Like, do they call you on the phone and they're like, "Hey, Kalen, how you doing? It's Coach P."
Yeah.
Is that how it works?
Oh, well, to go back to Derek Vickers, he's a monster. But to go back to the dinner, I was astounded when I heard Coach Paul Petrino called me, because I always been like a fan of the Petrino brothers, and when it was at Louisville, and when they told me that they was coming just to come see me and come for dinner, I got the tri-tip ready. I got the pinto beans. I got everything ready.
You gave him the full Bakersfield treatment.
Yes, sir.
And did he call you on your cell phone?
Yes.
Wow.
He called me on my cell phone.
So you just answered hello? Like,
Yeah.
this is a number that I don't recognize.
Yeah, well, one of the recruiters got a Moscow, Idaho number, so I recognized it. I knew it was an Idaho native. So when he called me, I was just like, I was astounded. But we had a great talk for like a good 10 minutes, and everything went good.
Now, going back to Vallejo, and when maybe your direction wasn't pointed as firmly as it is now, did you think that it was going to come to this? That you were going to come to Bakersfield of all places? And
Well, obviously, I didn't think of Bakersfield because I'm from the Bay Area.
Right.
I thought I was going to stay around home, and I just knew that being around home wouldn't be the nicest and the best decision for me, because there's too much things going on around there. And I loved Bakersfield. I came up here. I seen the football field, and I was committed as soon as I seen it. So ever
we
since,
have prepared you for D1 play in that regard.
yes,
Like, that's a big-time operation in BC.
yeah.
I mean, and I guess I could ask you also, having visited a couple schools, and there's a great picture of you on Twitter trying on a jersey. I don't remember where that was. Where did you
I went to Eastern Illinois.
It was at Eastern Illinois,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
How does our facilities compare with other facilities, like at Eastern Illinois?
They had some great jerseys. They had some great helmets and, flashy stuff. But our locker room and our football field is way better.
Wow.
Ours is humongous, and theirs is just like high school.
Yeah. See, people in Bakersfield get spoiled, and they don't realize this helmet, this team, your Renegades, this is like pretty close to a D1 program. I mean, we do things the right way up there, and I'm glad to see that it's prepared you so well. I think next week we're going to try to have a signing ceremony for you. Is that right?
Yes,
Is
sir.
it next week? And how close do you feel like you are to making a decision?
Portland State just came yesterday, and I told them that I might think about waiting another week, but I'm pretty sure I'm not going to wait after I go to Idaho. I fell in love with Eastern Illinois, but at the same time, I fell in love with Idaho because they're obviously a different level. They D1, and Eastern Illinois is D1 AA. Mm-hmm. And I want to play in California, and Idaho plays against USC the first game. So it's going to be a hard decision, but I think I'm going to do it Wednesday, signing day.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're super excited, and it would be awesome to see you on television. And I know that it's speculative and it's far off in the future, but when you are looking at these schools, are you considering your career after college?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I have a series going on, as I told you, and I'm.
Tell me a little bit more about that as well. You've been recording some things on video, have you?
Yes, sir. It's called The Road to the NFL. I'm just trying to work my butt off to get there, and I want to see who can put me in the best position to get there. And obviously, Idaho would be the better because they play against the bigger teams. But in the same sense, Eastern Illinois, I know I would rack up some yards. Right,
because no matter where you go, you're going to be there.
Yeah.
And I know that Buffalo, for example, is a Division I team, but Khalil Mack, the linebacker for the Raiders, he went to Buffalo, and he was the 4th overall pick in the draft last year because he has all of those qualities. I mean, he is built for the business of the NFL. You are also built for the business of the NFL. Have you talked to any private coaches or anybody else outside of education who has kind of sized you up and told you, like, maybe this is a possibility?
Yes, I got 2 cousins that's in the NFL right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, C.J. Anderson is starting running back for the Broncos.
Get out of here.
And Rashad Ross at the Redskins.
This is what always kills me about you, Khalil, is you are so understated. Like, you met somebody on the train, and this got back to our athletic director. I think you were going home to visit, and you chatted with somebody on the train. You were your polite, understated self, and you shook hands with them, and they marveled at the size of your hands. And you made such a good impression on this person that they called our athletic director, Sandy Taylor, and said, hey, I just want to tell you that everybody's quick to jump on athletes when they misbehave, but I met a stone gentleman on the train. This kid was so sweet, and she described you and said, yeah, he's got some tattoos, and he's got giant hands, and he's got a big smile, and he's really nice, but he didn't talk about himself so much, and I don't remember his name. And coach was like, that's Kalen Smith. yeah, that's him. And she looked on the website and sized you up, and that was it. That's funny. I knew that you had some connections, but I did not know they were so close. And have they encouraged you and told you that they think you have what it takes?
Yes, they've been with me through this recruiting process. They told me don't get down just because one D1 school came around, and I just got to show the world what I'm about, just like they did.
Absolutely, and that's about all it will take, actually, and I'm super excited. I look forward to working with you on the road to the NFL video, and I'm going to keep your number on my phone so that I can get some tickets when you do get drafted, because I think we're headed that way.
Yes, sir.
And even if you don't finish up in the NFL, which, again, I feel pretty strongly that you will, what do you want to do if that doesn't happen?
Well, I've always been the type of guy to say that I'm going to be a high school coach, not really, too much of the college and the NFL. I really want to impact lives like my high school coach did mine, and I just want to be there for people that don't have a dad and, just be an average Joe.
I cannot help but want this guy to win. Do you see what I'm going through here? Kalen, we're all rooting for you. You're a wonderful Renegade. We love you. We hope for the best for you, and we can't wait to see what decision you make next week, hopefully on Wednesday, and we will definitely have that news here on the Renegade Report on Thursday. So coming up next, we might have some members of the women's basketball team. I know there were some injuries and some treatment plans that they needed to get into. I don't see them out there yet, but we also might have time to speak to Mo again. Either way, stick around. The Renegade Report. We'll be right back after some messages from our sponsors.